So it's wonderful to be able to start out with saying all the time, hey, a lot has happened today, but a lot has mentally happened today. Emotionally. Physically, not so much, but a reality check for sure. I was very explicit with one particular person stating that I didn't have the funds that were thinking that I had way back in May. I was very explicit about it. And it was like, oh, no, we'll work with you, we'll work with you. May, June, July, August, September. And all of a sudden I'm getting told, by the way, we're done. And part of it is most likely due to the emotional and mental states. And I'm not again, I have no issue with stating, there's mental and emotional. I've been very upfront with that from the very, very beginning. But to have this be cut off, it's like, okay, whatever. And it really is okay, whatever. No harm, no foul. I already was upfront from the very beginning, so whatever. There's gains, and that's the positive side. There's losses, though not really. Because I learned a lot about myself in the last few months. I've learned more about me in the last few months than I have in a long time. Really, to be truthful. I've learned that my repurposing ability is a strong suit. And I do enjoy sharing and teaching others. I just haven't had a chance to do so because the income aspect. I'm constantly in a frenzy trying to find the income going on. And of course, I probably did something really dumb. But at the same time, I feel like it wasn't really dumb. Is that I signed up for a bunch of places where I can do announcements any day of the week. Which could be construed as haphazard and really not thinking straight. The reality is, I feel like I was thinking more straight than ever. It's like an advertising expense. I mean, every business has one. If you're not advertising one way, you've got to advertise another. And free, well, free gets you what free gets you. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But in this particular case, I'm talking upwards of 10,000 plus people. Some of them are repeat, but overall, roughly 10,000 people for less than $75 a month. And if you go to most of these places that have memberships available that are on Facebook alone, I was a part of a membership that claimed, oh, you get your eyeballs in front of 10,000 women, you'll really get going. Yeah. Not when everybody in there is sharing about what they do. It gets rather redundant fast. So I wasn't really seeing any benefit. Well, this is a whole lot less people. And to me, because there's a lot of networking, collaboration, and growth, I feel like there's a lot more strength in it. So for that, I am all about when you have a business, the very number one first thing you've got to remember in business, to grow, you must network and collaborate. They kind of go hand in hand. If you can't network and collaborate, you kind of go in your business. And that's not what you want to do in life. And I'm talking in general life. You have to be able to work and resource with other people and grow with other people. If you can't work and resource and grow with other people, you're kind of dead in the water. I mean, just, it is. Even when it comes to a business like yard maintenance or lawn maintenance or cleaning and apartment cleaning and things like that, you have to network. You have to collaborate with other like-minded individuals for corporate, for residential, for connections, for all sorts of things across the board. It has to happen. Now, in my particular case, because I'm all about repurposing, but I also have a nonprofit that's about repurposing women and men in their hearts, it's different, but it's the same concept. Networking and collaboration have to do it. Even in nonprofits. Oh my gosh, nonprofits are notorious. You have to have it. I mean, in every basic living detail, you have to have some form of networking and collaboration. Even in schools, that's where you learn how to do this stuff in the first place. Networking, collaboration, sharing, helping others to understand. Hello? That's Basics 101, is learning to work together as a team. You have to work together as a team or you're dead in the water. Now, it was brought to my attention that I need to focus on one thing or another. And I remember, and this was before the challenge got started, I remember thinking that I want to be known for having the most mini books on the market. I want to be known for many books on the market that are uplifting, encouraging, educational, all of the like. And I completely forgot until I started writing it out. I'm like, that's what I want to do. And it's repurposing, because I'm taking the pieces that I've learned and I'm putting them into book format so that people can actually see, oh, in the book, and learn from the book, and they can do a connection with me and we can work through those pieces. Hello. Networking Collaboration 101. I totally spaced it until I started journaling today. Because you see, I shared with all these books that I've been working on in the past, present, what I plan on in the future. I'm still working on Jonathan Cahn's books. They are intense, but I do take them to heart. Sarah Jakes Roberts. Oh, I love her books. And same with Terry Savelle Foy. I also love Joyce Meyer. Oh my goodness. Her and Lisa Harper. Yeah. So, anyhow, I just had to share and get out there and explain that today was taking a time out for self-care. I had to, finally, my doctor came through and I had an impromptu doctor appointment. I'm like, I dropped everything. I'm like, nope, stop, doctor. Took out time to talk with him, share with him my frustrations, because the government has decided that the medications that I do take, they're getting really technical on them. And I told him that as long as they're really technical on them, it's going to be harder and harder for people like me to get a hold of them who don't abuse them. It's meant to stop those who abuse. I don't abuse. In fact, if anything, I hate them. But they help to make life easier for me. So I had to take care of that. And I shared with him about the other stuff that I was dealing with for SSI, SSDI, and everybody across the board who I've shared about this are exponentially frustrated on my behalf. They did not realize, my doctor did not realize the intensity of this situation. I said, the SSI, SSDI, it's a trauma trigger for me. It really is. Because you see, my ex used it against me in a court of law. He said that I didn't have an income when I did. Then he took the income I did have and took it to Social Security Administration, stating that I had left the United States when I didn't. I'd left the United States for 12 hours. He said I left the United States to live. And I'm like, no, and you are dumbass to think that way. So because he did that, I ended up getting cut off. I have had many people get very frustrated when they hear this, and I say, welcome to my life. Welcome to my situation. What do you want me to do about it? What do you want me to say? I'm done. On that one, I'm done. Because I have fought and fought and fought. Now it's up to them. I'm done. Got the podcast things taken care of. Podcast going out. And I'm turning all of this works, I'm turning them into an actual book format for people who don't watch YouTube, but maybe they'll read a book. Because back in my younger years, I didn't watch TV much at all. I mean, I did. Don't get me wrong. I was all into Bionic Woman, Wonder Woman, A Million Dollar Man, Little House on the Prairie. I'm thinking, oh yeah, Murder, She Wrote, when my mom would allow it. Daniel Steele's, a bunch of Daniel Steele shows. Dallas, Bonanza. I'm trying to think of all the shows I was allowed to watch when I was younger. My family was fairly strict on it, except for on the weekend we were okay to watch a lot of shows that we couldn't normally watch. Most of them on the Western or pioneer setting. And I learned to have great value and respect for that era. However, it doesn't fix the fact of what actually happened for me. Because I've been through a lot for me. And when the people learned about the situations for me, they were apologetic, one. And number two, they were like, what can we do to make things better? I'm like, well, maybe you can go back and talk to the attorney and help the attorney compile some evidence. That might be a big plus. And then we can go from there, because it's really on the attorney now. So anyhow, I get the joy of keeping abreast on that for the next 24 days. And the nice thing is it's really not my responsibility. It's really on them, the medical, the legal, all of them, not on me at all. I hired them to take that on because I have another thing on my head, on my brain, that I just feel the desire to get at. And I've already shared parts of it, but I'm going to share even more parts of it as the next little while comes. Between now and the 24th, I'm going to be sharing all of it, because the 24th actually marks about the 90th day, in which I'm going to turn around and do the last 60 days of the year. In the last 60 days of the year is going to tie in all the business concepts that I can think of. Every single business concept I can think of. As well as sharing repurposing. And I'm going to be starting to do that even recent. So I have some ideas of what I'm going to be doing. But it's just a process. Until next time.